On the last weekend of April, just a little over 20 years ago, the kart series experienced the worst PR weekend in its entire history. Not only were they getting panned by motorsports critics, but also movie critics as well. This is the worst weekend in kart history. This video is brought to you by Factor. Factor supports wholesome eating made simple. Their meal plans offer variety with a rotating weekly menu of 25 plus meals and add-ons. My personal favorite add-on is the smoothie, but that's not all. Factor lets you choose your own meals, or you can let them craft some for you based on your taste preferences and meal history. The best part about Factor is that there's no prep necessary. They cut out stressful meal planning and prepping so you can eat within minutes. To get in on their variety of meal options, head on over to go.factor75.com/BFM120 and use code BFM120 to get $120 off your first 5 weeks of meals. Again, that's go.factor75.com/BFM120 and you can get $120 off your first 5 weeks of meals. Once again, a huge thanks to the fine folks over at Factor and you for supporting this channel. On Friday, April 27th, the kart series was looking to do business as usual, preparing for an early season race at Texas Motor Speedway. All of the individual teams' private tests that they had done before the race weekend had indicated no issues, until a bunch of concerns were raised during that Friday's session.
This was on Friday. Mauricio Guzman, longtime veteran of the series, lost it in 1, hit the wall in 2, hit the wall again here in 3. He was bruised, he was shaken up. He didn't come out to qualify, and then he decided he was just going home and left the track late yesterday.
After the Friday practice sessions, many drivers expressed apprehension about the upcoming race. Mauricio Guzman had hit the wall at a force of 113.1 Gs, but that wasn't the end of it. Afterwards, he also had said he couldn't recall the wreck at all because he had apparently blacked out. Later that Friday afternoon, Steve Olvey, the kart medical affairs director, would report that 2 drivers felt dizzy and disoriented. While kart was breaking records at Texas Motor Speedway that day, they were getting ready for the premiere of a movie that included their series called Driven. Sylvester Stallone wanted to do a movie about Formula 1, but when he was unable to make that happen, the next best option was to do a movie on the 2000 FedEx Kart Series season. There have been multiple videos made on this movie, and I'll just keep it brief. Driven is one of the worst motorsports movies of all time. The movie's main character, Jimmy Bly, is competing for the championship and finds himself in an early season slump. And his owner, Burt Reynolds, decides to hire his former driver, Joe Tanto, to come help him. They never make it clear on why Joe had left the sport to begin with, but they allude to it a bit.
Well, I was killed, like in Detroit in '97.
Hey, accidents happen.
Accidents? You almost killed me, Joe.
I watched you kill yourself! And you had everything! And you threw it all away! And I had to sit there and watch! Wake up every morning, and my legs are on fire! I know I'm gonna have to sit in this chair for the rest of the day.
I'm confused, so did his accident somehow lead to Burt Reynolds' paralysis? While they aren't clear about certain plots in the story, you would think that they would have more redeeming qualities to this movie. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Driven wants to be Indycar's version of Days of Thunder so bad, but fails in every category. You'll find yourself not liking any of the characters, and the only one that seems to have some sort of redeeming qualities almost gets killed. It's pretty clear that the people who created Driven weren't really concerned with plot, dialogue, or any of the performances. Instead of a Days of Thunder type movie, IndyCar fans end up getting a wannabe version of Rocky on wheels.
You work for me, I said let's off!
Why the hell did you let him drive? Come on, baby, come on, come on, come on!
Shut up!
You're having a bad season and you're throwing me out of your life?
This is my life!
This is not your life!
What would you do?
Me? To get someone back that I really love? To get that rock out of my stomach, I'd crawl.
You'd crawl.
Crawl.
Joe, you never crawl.
Joe, you never crawl! See, all of these lines just feel like they were supposed to be in the Rocky movies but didn't make the cut. So having a racing movie that doesn't know racing at all, along with cringy lines as well as terrible character development is one thing, but that's not the end of it. This scene of a CGI wheel going into the grandstands is very bad, considering the fact that just 2.5 years prior to this movie's release, in a kart race by the way, a wheel went up into the stands, killing 3 people at Michigan. While the movie did earn $12 million on opening weekend, it was panned by critics and was considered a colossal failure. While kart was getting panned by movie critics over the weekend, they were about to get criticized by racing ones. On Saturday, the night before the race, kart officials attempted to make last-ditch efforts to curtail speeds, with the cars being too fast for the driver's own good and not being able to come to some sort of compromise. On the morning of the race, just 2 hours before it was set to take place, kart officials postponed it.
It's disappointing, but yet necessary for me to announce that kart, along with its teams, its drivers, its manufacturers, and sponsors, have determined that we must postpone today's race.
A situation developed on Friday of this weekend that in the 25 years I've been involved with motorsports, I have never heard of and have never seen at any other racing venue. It came to my attention that 2 drivers pulled off the racetrack after long stints at over 230 miles an hour, and they pulled in because they were experiencing rather severe dizziness and lightheadedness and felt that they could no longer safely control the race car.
Dr. Olvey explained the problems and asked for a show of hands of drivers who'd experienced it. I mean, you know, when you saw 24 hands go up, everybody was silent. I mean, I think as a driver, I think each guy probably felt, well, I must be the only one having this problem. I don't want to come forward. I don't want to say something.
Both Texas Motor Speedway and its fans are frustrated by what has occurred here today. But before I go further, let me be clear that neither the Speedway or its fans would ever want an event to be held in which the competitors were placed at a position of unnecessary risk. But the bottom line point is, kart should have known.
Instead of 60,000 fans watching open-wheel cars screeching on the front stretch going well over 200 miles per hour, no race took place and everybody left the track by that evening. With the car's speeds affecting driver safety, having to postpone another race in the 2001 season, and the recent release of a movie involving your series that was getting panned by movie critics and fans alike, the last week of April in 2001 is truly the worst weekend in kart series history. The only thing this movie did good was the coin flip scene. And once again, that'll do it for another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch you next time.
Joe, you never crawl. Joe, you never crawl. Joe, you never crawl.